Have you noticed how the price of cherries has been dropping lately? It's thanks to the advancements in China's logistics industry. And the tech behind this progress is driven by a company called WallTech, serving over 1,000 clients worldwide.
China is setting the standards for rapid e-commerce. If there's a new rule, China's at the forefront. Western companies just don't have that influence anymore.
WallTech is acutely aware of their responsibilities and mission, and they're also sensing challenges ahead.
In this competitive world, irrational price cutting, like doing a major contract for a fraction of its worth, is hurting the industry. It's unsustainable.
Guo Shunri, who returned from Silicon Valley, co-founded Microsoft China's R&D Center. Now he leads WallTech. In this series of Incredible Confidence, a look into Chinese tech, we feature WallTech.
Here are some of our core credentials. Under China's Ministry of Commerce, we lead the Digital Work Committee. We're a smaller company, but with a big mission.
So, as the lead unit, you help set parts of the standard, drafting and piloting.
Exactly. The digital future that China's freight forwarding is something we hope to lead and land in practice. Another is being a multinational's R&D center. To get such qualifications, you need a real R&D center and significant industry influence. That's how you're recognized as a high-level R&D center.
From day one, we prioritized customer first. Together with integrity, excellence, innovation, and collaboration are our company's 5 core values. Here's our logo and mission statement: reinventing global logistics with cloud-based software and services. Our clients include China Post, which uses our cloud services extensively. It's surprising for a state enterprise of such size to rely on us rather than their own systems. Yet 500 of their subsidiaries and over 3,000 accounts use our services. Our platform also supports China Air Express. Their trunk lines run on our platform. Changji Logistics, the biggest new energy vehicle transporter, and Shanghai Port Group, the world's largest port, are our clients too. Even Japan's Marubeni works with us. There are many more, but I won't list them all here.
Guo, from being a co-founder at Microsoft China's R&D Center, why switch to the risky size industry?
It was a fortunate opportunity. Major logistics firms needed specialized software, and we saw a chance to use our tech skills to transform the industry. We realized it was a huge potential market, one where our technical strengths could truly help transform the industry. Freight shipping is complex and highly digitalized. It's a sector with very high demands for digitalization. At the same time, the potential value that digitalization can bring here is enormous. That's why we decided to enter this field back then.
May I ask you something privately? When you first started working on this, was all the startup funding from your own savings?
Yes, initially we used our own savings to start the business. We believed our experience and resources could make a difference. For example, I left Microsoft. Another partner came from IBM. Back then, we thought for this endeavor, our experience, together with our limited funds, should still give us a chance to drive change. So that's why we invested ourselves into it back then.
Before your company grew, you had to compete with industry giants. What helped you survive?
The key was offering customers more competitive value. Large players had stronger resources and service capacity, so direct confrontation was impossible. By concentrating on specific clients, refining our services, and expanding step by step, we gradually built competitiveness. This process was essentially iterative, finding a focus, proving your strengths, and then expanding, ultimately leading to a clear market positioning. This approach shows off our competitive edge, and it's a process and iteration and optimization to find our market fit.
Think small scale, like the movie Lychee a Chang'an. In ancient times, transporting a lychee in China was a huge expense. But now, talking about lychee freedom suggests global logistics costs have plummeted.
It's impossible to scale without a strong supply chain. Today, China's supply chain has become globally influential in cross-border e-commerce logistics. Consider cherries from Canada. In the past, using major carriers, even sending a single sheet of paper, cost a fortune. And if you asked, can it be cheaper? That was simply the reality of international express. But for cross-border e-commerce, shipping a box of cherries worth only a few dozen dollars, if the delivery cost is $100, it's not realistic.
So, where is China's strength? As the world's factory, China's covered global e-commerce systems from overseas warehouses to direct deliveries, like I shared at Stanford. Imagine sending that same piece of paper to a Chinese overseas warehouse. From there, using China's cross-border service providers to deliver it to a designated address, the cost drops to $5 or less.
It's because once China's cross-border e-commerce became mainstream, the volume of shipments was large enough to drive costs down significantly. Its strength lies in integrating all these transportation networks to form a complete end-to-end service with full traceability. And as the overall volume continues to grow, the cost will keep decreasing step by step. Everyone knows about Huawei's international sanctions. So if a company like WallTech were to gain major international influence abroad, how would you handle such risks? I believe we are relatively immune to that. In the early days, our goal was to globalize, not only serving Chinese forwarders, but also overseas ones. But now we realize, at least for the time being, we don't even need to serve foreign forwarders directly. That's because Chinese forwarders themselves have already gone global. As they support China's supply chain worldwide, their share in overseas forwarding is growing rapidly. As long as you want to trade with China, our industry will always have a role, because global trade cannot function without it. It's no longer possible to simply cut off the influence of made in China. Chinese manufacturing exports not only factory production capacity, but also new standards. Take cross-border e-commerce as an example. It is setting new rules, and China is certain to play the leading role. At this point, it's no longer up to Western companies. Everything is already centered in China. This has become an irreversible process. China is already setting global standards. That's why the U.S. says China's influence is rising and responds with trade wars. But in essence, as China continues to rise, frictions will naturally increase. Still, restricting China's growth can't be achieved through simple trade barriers. The end result is that China will hold its ground, and it may be the U.S. that has to retreat more. For decades, China's workers labored hard, turning low-margin industries into accumulated wealth, capital, knowledge, and unmatched manufacturing capacity. As one saying goes, having a seat at the table and being served on the table are two very different things.
China will definitely be at the table, not the dish being served, but the one chosen from the menu.
From my perspective, this is true across all industries. There are always opportunities for new entrants, especially as today's economy is constantly changing. New technologies and services will continue to emerge, creating fresh chances for innovation. The key is to work on what you're passionate about, where your abilities and resources align, and where you believe you can become the best in the industry. That evaluation is crucial. With 14 years of dedication, WallTech has grown from a startup to an industry leader. By staying true to a customer-first philosophy, it has earned the trust of thousands of clients worldwide.
Thanks a lot for your time today, Mr. Guo.
Looking ahead, WallTech will continue its mission, driving digital transformation in global logistics and reshaping the future of cloud services for the industry. The truly remarkable confidence lies in the marvels of Chinese technology.